Central's World News headquarters in New York. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah presents Discrimination.
There is a firestorm tonight over what happened 3 days ago at a Starbucks in Philadelphia, where the police were called in and 2 black men were arrested.
This video, captured by a witness's cell phone, shows police talking and later handcuffing the men while they were waiting for a friend.
How crazy is this? 2 men arrested for waiting to meet someone at Starbucks. You see, this here, this is why black people should always show up late. If you're early, it's loitering. For our safety, black people, we show up late everywhere we go. In fact, maybe this got me thinking, maybe it's not true that black people are never on time. It's just that we only know about the ones who show up late because all the early ones got taken away. Maybe that's what it is. And I know there were some people saying, well, why were these guys in Starbucks doing nothing? Huh? Why? Well, because that's what Starbucks is for. Everyone is doing nothing. Everyone. Starbucks is basically a bus station with espresso machines. That's all it is. In fact, the only mistake these black guys made was not using the tactics of the white man. That's all they did. Yeah, when the manager accused them of doing nothing, they should have replied, actually, I'm writing a screenplay. That's what I'm doing. But look, if I can get serious for just a minute here, I will say this. Do you have any idea what it does to a person's dignity to be arrested by bike cops? Huh? Think about this. Someone calls the cops on you, and instead of driving up with sirens wailing, oh, badass, they're like, ding, 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 ding. And how do they even get you back to the station, huh? Do they throw you on the back of a bicycle built for 2? And now you're in custody, but you have to help them pedal? Man, this is some bullshit, man. This is some bullshit. We look adorable, though. We look adorable. But for real though, America clearly has a problem with policing and black people. On the one hand, you have people calling the police because they see black people as inherently threatened. And then you have police who only know how to respond to a call with an arrest or violence. So the question is, what do we do? Do we fix society, or do we try and fix the police?
Well, the coffee chain just announced 8,000 of its stores in the U.S. is for racial bias training for nearly 175,000 employees.
I'm embarrassed, ashamed. I think what occurred was reprehensible at every single level. I think I take it very personally, as everyone in our company does, and we're committed to making it right.
That was a really great interview. It's just a shame that when it ended, Gayle King was arrested. But seriously though, I want to say props to Starbucks, right? As a company, they didn't just apologize, they're actually doing something about it. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. And I bet from now on, they're going to be a lot more careful when it comes to dealing with race.
Hello, Starbucks employees. I'm here today because you f***ed up. That's fine. After today's training, those racial insensitivities will be a thing of the past. But first, run to the black employees watching. You good, my dude. Take off. Y'all ain't gotta watch none of this. Straight. Now, for everyone else, we'll be reviewing how to handle some common scenarios that occur inside of a Starbucks. When an African-American customer enters your store, there's a right way to greet him and a wrong way. Here's some of the wrong ways.
Yo, what's up, man? Can I get the ice cold?
Oh, shit, he wearing a bandana. Don't kill me. Just take the money.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We are out of grape drink.
Now, here's the correct way to greet a black person in your store. Hello. Let's do it. Writing black names on coffee cups. Okay, this venti latte is for...
Rashonda.
Rashonda, of course. Of course. Here's what he should have done.
It's Rashonda.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have this disease where I forget how to read. Would you mind spelling that for me?
Sure. R. U.
Finally, let's address one of our more sensitive issues. bathroom access. From time to time, Starbucks customers will need to evacuate their bowels. It's a natural part of the cooking process, but we must be sensitive to it.
Pardon me. May I get the code to the restroom?
Oh, you ain't gonna buy nothing? You ain't get no snack, no nothing. You just think you gonna walk up in here and take a shit for free? Ain't nothing in this life for free. You go outside, you piss in the gutter. Boy, I'll call 911 on your ass before I let you ruin these white folks' toilet with that unemployed piss. Here's a better approach.
Hey, pardon me, sir. May I get the code to the restroom?
Absolutely. The code is 0115. It's Dr. King's birthday. And there you have it. Now you know how to make African Americans feel welcome at Starbucks. Thanks for watching. And remember, don't be racist.
After the situation at Starbucks, we've heard multiple stories about people getting the cops called on them for being black in public. But yesterday's story might be the craziest.
5 women claim that they are victims of racial profiling after they say the owners of a Pennsylvania golf course asked the group to leave the course. Women say workers at Grandview Golf Club kicked them out halfway through the game when the workers said that the women were playing too slow.
You know what the problem in America is that white people call the police like they're asking for the manager. Like, this is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I demand to see someone who might shoot you. Come on. Now, luckily in this case, the police handled it correctly, and there were no arrests. In fact, I like to think the police only showed up because they didn't believe that there were 5 black women playing golf. They're like, Marty, bring the camera. This is gonna be insane. Like, I'm glad that nothing happened. I'd like to hear the sports cast for that. If only there was an announcer who was like, okay, so they're teeing up and a race war is breaking out in the 4th hole. These douchebags have never seen black women before. All the cops have let them go. Very nice. Very nice.
Yale University officials say they're deeply troubled by a racially sensitive incident involving 2 students. Balede Siyambola, who is black, shot video of a white student who'd called campus police on her. Siyambola had fallen asleep in the common room of their building. The other woman thought she was an intruder.
Come on, man. This white lady called the cops because she saw a black woman sleeping? Sleeping. That's literally the least threatening thing a person can do. I mean, what did she tell the cops? Yeah, I know she's sleeping, but who knows what she could be dreaming of. I mean, this could be dangerous. The last time they had a dream, we had to let them vote. Get over here quick. What are you afraid of? And the worst part is, she was sleeping because she was tired because Starbucks wouldn't sell her coffee. This could be dangerous. The last time they had a dream, we had to let them vote. Get over here quick.
This morning, a California woman is facing outrage online after a now viral video shows her allegedly calling police on an 8-year-old black girl selling bottles of water with her mother on a sidewalk.
She called police on an 8-year-old little girl. You can hide all you want.
Illegally storing water without a permit?
The woman, identified as Allison Edel, now being dubbed on social media as Permit Patty.
For more on the story, please welcome our very own Dulce Sloan, everybody! Another story of a white person calling 911 on a black person doing nothing. What are your thoughts?
Trevor, I'm so sick of this bullshit.
A lot of people felt because this woman was calling the cops.
Yeah, but what really made me mad is the way she did it. Play that video again. This woman don't want to let a little girl sell some water. She calling police on an 8-year-old little girl. You can hide all you want. The whole world gonna see you, boo. Why is she trying to crouch behind the wall like a white privileged ninja? The hell are you doing? We just saw you. You don't disappear just because you look down. Black people are the dinosaurs from Jurassic Park.
Dulce, Permit Patty was interviewed by the San Francisco Chronicle, and she said that she didn't actually call the cops. Yeah, she said she was just pretending to call them.
Oh, Trevor, that makes it worse. Because that means she didn't care about the permit. She wanted to scare an 8-year-old black girl into thinking that the cops were coming. She knows black people are afraid of the cops, and she used it as a weapon against them. That's f***ed up. Imagine how white people would feel if black people ran around threatening them with glue. Eat this biscuit, Karen! Karen! Get into this biscuit, girl!
Look, I understand why you're upset, Dulce, but I think you'll be glad to know that this story has a happy ending, right? This girl was selling water because she was trying to raise money for a trip to Disneyland. Well, guess what? After Black Twitter broke the story, somebody bought that girl 4 tickets to Disneyland. Yeah.
See? Oh, look at God. Look at God. Oh. She better not try to sell water there. Disney don't f*** around. Mickey, protect this corner.
Don't say slow, everybody. A recent online survey found that only 8% of American high school seniors could identify slavery as the central cause of the Civil War. Yeah, and even worse, 10% say the winners of the Civil War was Captain America. That's scary. And this seems like an insane statistic, but when you see how some schools try and teach slavery, you understand why.
A homework assignment given out this week at a charter school in San Antonio has set off an uproar. The students were instructed to make a list of the negatives and positive aspects of slavery.
This is the paper Robert Labar's 8th grade son was given to fill out in a history class. You can see his son wrote "not applicable" on the side, labeled positive aspects, and wrote a long list of negative aspects. Robert says there's no excuse for this assignment.
Okay, first of all, that kid gets an A for life. That was amazing. Because that assignment is horrible. Like, that assignment is so bad, it almost seems like a trap to find the racist kids in class. It's like, okay, kids, what were the positive aspects of slavery?
I know, cheap labor.
Trick question, go to detention, you little grand wizard. And it gets worse. It gets worse. Because these insane lessons on slavery have spread into other subjects somehow.
Gwinnett County parents are outraged tonight over 3rd grade math homework. It referenced slaves picking fruit and violence.
One problem said each tree had 56 oranges. If 8 slaves picked them equally, then how much would each slave pick? Then there was another. If Frederick got 2 beatings per day, how many beatings did he get in 1 week?
Okay. First of all, 2 beatings times 7, that's 14 beatings. But secondly, slavery is too serious to just casually drop into math problems. And by the way, I'm not just worried about how inappropriate those questions are. I'm worried about how it's escalating. Like, first it's just picking oranges, next it's beatings. You know, the next question starts out with 8 men in white robes show up to Frederick's house. Run! So look, obviously, these assignments aren't treating slavery with the weight it deserves. But it turns out some teachers go too far in the opposite direction.
She singled out black students, told them to lie on the floor, and stepped on their backs to show them, quote, how it is to be a slave.
A controversial lesson about slavery has been pulled from a Cerritos high school.
A mother complained recently after getting this email. Staff would act as slave ship captains, the email described, and the children slaves. They used masking tape to tie their wrists together, make them lay on the ground, and in a dark room, have them watch a clip from the film Roots.
What the people? And look, I know some people say, Trevor, no, these teachers are just trying to be creative in how they teach. Yeah. But here's my question. How come teachers only seem to get creative like this with slavery? Right? It doesn't happen with any other historical subject. Like, they're never like, hey, Connor, because you're Irish, I'm going to take away your lunch so you can learn about the potato famine. They never say that. And then also this thing of, like, justifying bad things in history. You know, you never hear of teachers like write an essay on why the iceberg was good for the Titanic, or asking for 3 reasons why those people deserve to be eaten by Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, all I'm saying is, if you're going to teach slavery that way, teach it all the way. Or at the very least, if you're going to teach slavery this way, end the lesson on a high note. If you tie the kids up and make them watch Roots, then afterwards, they get to watch Django Unchained and whip the teacher's ass. We all know that yesterday Roseanne was fired for tweeting that former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett was the birth child of the Muslim Brotherhood and the Planet of the Apes. And many people applauded ABC for reacting swiftly and canceling Roseanne. Now, Roseanne getting fired wasn't a shock because, I mean, let's be honest, comparing a black person to an ape is what I like to call shit your pants racism, right? It's so obvious. It's obviously bad, you know, like everyone can smell it, everyone can see it, no one wants to help you clean it up. Even the anti-PC brigade agreed Roseanne had gone too far.
Roseanne Barr made some really incendiary, pretty appalling comments on Twitter.
The Planet also over the line. There was no getting away from that. The Muslim Brotherhood, that gets kicked around. But when you combine that with the Planet of the Apes, it's just so toxic. It's just, you can't really ever come back.
Yeah. Wow, that's an interesting angle. I love how precise Jesse Waters gets with this. It's like he's a racism chemist. Look, on its own, Muslim Brotherhood is harmless. Yeah, but that's an anti-Muslim slur. But once you combine it with too much Planet of the Apes, it goes in your face. Trust me, when you've been saying racist shit as long as I have, you gotta feel for it, you know? You gotta feel, you gotta mix it just right. And what was really fun was watching the people who tried to argue that Roseanne wasn't being racist. She was just sort of generally bad.
We live in a politically correct world right now. We live in a world where it's just plain not nice. It's not nice to say
not about political correctness. It's racism.
Well, let's just what she said. The tweet was not nice. It was ugly. It was demeaning. It was gross. And let's just leave it at that.
Why? Why leave it at that?
Yeah, why? Why leave it at that? Let's just leave it at that. I want that lady to defend me in court. Murder is such a harsh word. Can't we all agree to call it making someone alive? This is such a PC world where no one wants to die anymore, huh? And seriously, I'm impressed by all of this. It takes a lot of mental strength to say that calling a black woman an ape isn't racist. Not everyone can pull it off.
Do you think Roseanne's a racist?
I don't think so, no. I've seen her show many times when she was in her previous show. I don't think she's racist. I think she made some comments that she didn't think about that would come across as sounding racist, and indeed, they were.
Oh, this is magic. It's like his conservative side and his black side won at the last minute. She made some comments that might sound racist because that shit was racist. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Now, Kanye West is defending himself against really the indefensible. He said slavery was a choice. Here's the sentence.
Hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice.
Just me. So, Kanye West popped up at TMZ's offices and decided to freestyle some history lessons. Thankfully, TMZ staffer Van Lathan was there to call Kanye out in person.
Producer Van Lathan taking West to task about the slavery comment.
While you are making music and being an artist, the rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. Frankly, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real.
Wow, that was powerful. It was really, really powerful. And you know, there was one scared white person in that office who was like, "Hello, police." There's two black people arguing in the office right now. You know, normally I wouldn't really care what Kanye West said about slavery or black history, but what does suck is that every member of the Tiki Torch Club out there is going to use Kanye's words to justify their hates. Basically, the way Kanye samples old school is how racists are going to sample him now. And it'll be like, rules and choices, like slavery. So look, Kanye may think he's just being a free thinker, but the truth is there's nothing good coming out of this. Except maybe, an idea for a new movie.
Matt Servant. Did I that don't obey his Lord shall be beaten with many stripes.
So, shit. Love my job. Hey, y'all ready to pick some cotton? I got donuts. Being a slave is the best choice I ever made. I get to work and have fun in the sun.
Master brought you here to work, that's all. Any more, I'll earn you 100 lashes.
I may need to talk to HR about that. Love, never work a day in your life.
Get back to work,
Comedy Central's World News Headquarters in New York. The Daily Show with Trevor Noah presents. It's 2020.
Every day, the field of Democratic candidates gets bigger and bigger. And this morning, it didn't just get bigger, it got louder.
Hi, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for president. Our campaign is about taking on the powerful special interests that dominate our economic and political life. I'm talking about Wall Street, the health insurance companies, the drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex, the private prison industry, and the large multinational corporations.
Oh, damn. Yo, Bernie has entered the race. And did you hear his list of enemies? This guy doesn't mess around. Yeah, he didn't come to play. He was like, big banks, little banks, Tyra Banks, I'm shutting you all down. You're all going down. And you can tell that Bernie's serious about winning because he didn't rub his hair with a balloon before filming this video. He's serious now. He's in it. No balloon this time. We're going smooth. Now, if Bernie were to win the presidency, he would become the oldest American president ever. Yes, and I mean that literally. He was born a few months before George Washington. But don't let Bernie's age fool you. This guy is as feisty as the Democratic Party.
Howard Schultz has now stated he would not run as an independent if the Democrats nominate a moderate.
Isn't that nice?
Why are you calling Howard Schultz?
Yo, I miss Bernie so much. Are you kidding?